Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie. Today I'm going to be filming how I got this makeup look. Very easy, natural, mommy approved for those of you that are new to makeup or want some extra tips and tricks to feel more comfortable with makeup. So continue watching. We're going to get started with some primer. I'm using the Hourglass number 28 serum primer. Use about 2 to 3 pumps of that. I love this primer, especially in the winter, because my skin is so dry. I mean, I always have dry skin, but especially in the winter. I tend to have a lot of dry patches and eczema down here by my chin, so something like this really helps with the dry flakiness. Just get that all over. Okay, so now that we have our primer on, we're going to go in with some foundation and concealer. I like to go ahead and put a little bit of my foundation here on my hand. This is the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. However, I do start off with some concealer. So I'll put a little bit of that under here. This is the Dose of Colors concealer. And it's in the shade Light Medium. So the reason why I like to start off with concealer before foundation is just so that it looks better, really. When you start layering on foundation and then putting concealer on top of that, it just tends to get cakey right under here, especially if underneath your eyes pretty dry like me. Layering and layering and layering is not going to help you. So start off with some concealer under there, you know, so it can mark its territory there. And I'm just going in with a dab of foundation. I absolutely love this concealer and this foundation. Foundation is nice and hydrating, and this concealer is so smooth underneath the eyes. I never have an issue with it. Even now that it's sitting there and it's basically getting drier by the minute, it still does not look dry or cakey underneath there. It's a great concealer. It really works with you. And go ahead and get some more foundation. Just put that on the back of my hand. Go in with the dab, sides of the nose, and just blend that in with the concealer. Nice seamless blend. Sure to put some on your neck. Blend it all the way down over the ears. And just keep blending. When it comes to foundation, you really want to make sure you're blending it all in. That way it looks nice and seamless. I'm going to go ahead and blend out the under eye now. Nice and bright and concealed. Since we gave it some time to dry down underneath there, it's really going to add to that coverage. And that's what we want. More coverage with less product as we can get. And by letting it dry down, it'll do it for you. Try not to blend away the coverage. I know I mentioned earlier you want to spend time blending in your foundation, but when it comes to concealer underneath the eye, you just want to make sure you blend just enough so that obviously you don't have those edges there, that triangle mark there. You want to blend all that out so that it looks seamless, but not so much where you're blending away the coverage, because that is possible. All right. Oh, now I love to spend a lot of time bouncing it in. You guys a closer look. Skin still looks like skin underneath the eye. It's still nice and hydrated, concealed at the same time. I absolutely love it. Okay, now we're going to go in with highlighter. And the reason why I like to go on with highlighter first, unlike most people, is because I feel like I get a better blend that way. You can really blend out the edges of the highlight with your bronzer and your blush when you go in with it first. I'm using MAC and Whisper of Guilt. Just the tops of the cheek here, underneath the brow. Some of the bridge of the nose, the chin. I like to bring my highlight everywhere because I have dry eczema prone skin. Highlight really gives me the glow that I don't have, so I love it. Right on the apples of the cheek too. So you know, when you put the highlight on last, when you go over the apples of the cheek, it kind of looks frosted there. I don't like that look. So when you do it this way, you can still get the glow. It'll come out underneath the bronzer and the blush. Now, I'm gonna go in with bronzer. We're gonna start right back here by the hairline and pounce. And just pounce, pounce, pounce. Look forward so you can see the shape that the bronzer / contour is giving you. Some on the sides of my forehead. I don't really like to go too far into my forehead because it's really not necessary for my face shape. I have more of a square face. So doing it this way kind of rounds it out a bit. And just pounce, pounce, pounce. Especially in those areas where you feel like there's like a patch where it's either lighter in bronzer or you feel like the bronzer didn't catch on as well right there. Grab a little bit more, just a smidge, and pounce it right in that area. Pounce. I like to put a little bit on the jawline here as well, just to cut that corner there. See, since I said I have like a square, more square of a face, I like to just bring that down a little bit more. Just a jab right underneath the tip of the nose to shorten it out. All right, same thing on the other side. Using my NARS Laguna bronzer. We're gonna start back here. Pounce, going downwards at an angle. Pounce, look forward so you can see the shape that it's giving you. Because if you're looking this way, you can't really see how your face is gonna look when you're looking straight on, right? And most of the time you're looking straight on when you're talking to someone or whatever. So you really want to see how it's going to look that way. Bring it a little bit up to the side of the forehead here. Pounce, pounce, pounce. A little bit of blending. And right in this area where I feel like there's like a patch, I will just pounce right on over it. Blend out the edges a smidge. Make sure the sides are even, like they have been brought in the same amount. And just pounce, pounce, pounce. Over here in the jawline, just to cut that corner. If you have more square face like I do, try this out. Try putting the bronzer where I'm putting it and see if you like that face shape that it gives you. Took me a long time to figure out what works best for this nice square face. But I figured it out. Now I'm gonna go in with some blush. This is my Hourglass blush in Diffused Heat. I just like to rub, tap it off, and then start up here, right by the hairline, going down an angle just like the bronzer. Not here, but up here. That way most of the product is up here and diffused towards the center of the face. A little bit on the apples. I said starting by the hairline, bringing it down. Really blend that in there. Bring it towards the apples, but you never want to start there because then that's where most of the product will be, and that's not what we want. If most of the product is back here towards the hairline, that's fine, right? You could always blend that away. And if it looks a little harsher back here versus in front, you can kind of get away with it more, because when people look at you, or when you're looking at someone else, they're looking at you head on, not like this. Now I'm gonna go in with my Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder, just a dab, and I'm gonna go underneath here and over the bronzer and the blush that I just did, just to help blend out those edges. Underneath the jawline here, mostly pouncing. Same thing, go in with just a jab. Bending the edges up top by the forehead. And I'm going this way, towards the hairline. Okay, now it is time for brows. So I'm going to brush them out. I'm going to get a little closer here. Brush them upwards, just like when you start styling your hair, right? You always want to make sure it's nice and brushed out before you go ahead and put any product in. And I start in the center of my brow and work my way outwards. You want to go from lightest to darkest here, but in a subtle way, right? So I focus most of my product right here in the middle to the end. Because as you can see, got lucky and I have pretty full brows already. I just like to make them longer and thicker here, since they are so thin here. So I just make short strokes. Round it out here at this edge. I don't like it to be too harsh here where it's like a right angle. I like it to be nice and round. Gives my face a better shape, since I do have these harsh corners here. I like to give my face some roundness, and with brows you can definitely do that. I like to make it a little darker here at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and brush it out again. And then go in at the other brow here. So, like I said, in the middle, small strokes to the end of the brow. if you have fuller brows like I do, you really don't need to focus anything here in the beginning of the brow. That's just gonna make it look very obvious that you drew them on. Got this hair in my way here. Short stroke all the way towards the end here. I like to start at the bottom here and go along the shape that my brow already has and just lengthen it, as well as the top here. Go along this line here, round out that corner and lengthen it, and really darken up this edge here since I basically have no hair there. But that's okay. Once we're done here, you won't be able to tell. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and brush it out again. I'm gonna go in with my little brush. That's not it. Okay. And with this small little brush here, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the edges. This brush has nothing on it, no product at all. And I'm gonna clean it up here. And just go over top. Same thing here. And really give it that shape that you want. If you made any mistakes. So as I did the top and as I'm doing the bottom, I'm just kind of wiping it off on my hand to get any of the excess product off of it. But I'm not putting any foundation or concealer on my brush. It's just a clean brush. That really does help your brow look more natural when there's not stark line of concealer or foundation here. Just your skin and whatever foundation you already put on. There we go. Now, to even darken it up some more and give it some hold, I like to go in with my Tarte Busy Gal Brows. I don't even know what shade this is, black brown. And like I said, I just focus the product here towards the center and going outwards. Same thing on the other side. And just go over that shape that you already made. Now I'm going to go back in with my clean brush here and clean up anything. Same thing on this brow. Brush it out again. This one needs a little extra help here. What is that? Okay. So these are the brows. Nice, natural. And now we will go in with some eyeliner. I have Cake Pencil by Kat Von D Beauty. And what I like to do here, since I'm doing more of a simple eye look, not putting on any shadow, or even when I do put on shadow, I like to line my waterline with some black. That way it makes the lash line look nice and thick. And you don't see that separation between the lashes and the lash line there. It's just nice and black. So, usually... There you go. Same thing here. Making myself cry here. Alright. Put a little extra on the corners there. Nice. And I will now go in with some mascara. This is the Essence Lash Princess. If you have more of a straight lash, go ahead and go in with a curler before you go in with mascara. However, for me, usually my lashes will work with me and I won't need a curler. Some on the bottom here. Go in with another coat just to really lengthen them. There we go. Pretty good mascara. I like it. Very comparable to the It Cosmetics Superhero. That one's my ultimate favorite. That one coat and you're out the door. This one, yeah, you gotta layer it. Still beautiful though, that's fine. I like to start like towards the end of the lash, wiggle it, bring it upwards, flip my brush over, and then do the end here. Got a little mascara there, that's okay. Nothing Q-tip can't clean. This side always gives me a harder time. Never looks the same as the other side. Never looks as good. That's all right. No one else will notice. My second coat. Mascara is not my favorite part. It takes me forever. Really gotta work on every single hair here. It can kind of drive me crazy, so if you're like me, know that you're not alone. Want to make sure all the hairs are going in the right direction, in the same direction, while trying not to make a hideous mess on my eyelid, but no matter how hard I try it, I always make a mess, as you can see here, but that's okay. Just dab it off, or wait till it dries, and then you can just kind of flick it off. Alright, that's as good as that one's gonna get. A little bit on the bottom here. No, there's a mess there by my lash line, but that's okay. I can clean that up with the Q-tip. There you have it. Love it. Now, I'm gonna go back in with my sponge and dab out that crease right here. One crease there. and my setting powder with my setting brush. Where are you, brush? It does not want to be found here. What is going on? Here you go. Okay, so I'm going to blend out that crease there. Going with a dab of the powder. Start here in the end and work my way out. Very nice and gentle pouncing motions just to set that area there. Same thing with the other side. Blend it out. Usually I would do this before I put my lower mascara on. Forgot. It's fine. It's fine. Just a dab. Tap off the rest. Start here and bring it outwards. I like to put a little here and a little here. Now, why did I wait so long to set my concealer? Well, because it dried down. When you go ahead and put powder on something that's still wet, it can bunch up and look cakey. When it's nice and dried down, you can go ahead and pounce out any, any of that creasing that happened, which was very minimal because this concealer is amazing. You can pounce it out and then put some powder on top of it where it's already pretty much dry, and it will just smooth out that surface, as you can see. Nice and smooth. Okay, so I went and I cleaned up the lid area there for any excess mascara or eyeliner, fixed up my hair a little bit, and now we're gonna go on with some gloss. This is the NARS Orgasm gloss. Love this gloss. And just go on over those lips. Took the foundation off my lips, making my lips look super dry. And here you have it. Finished look. What do you guys think? I know it's not the most full coverage, but that's the point. Wanted to do something natural, something for every day, something easy that anyone can do without feeling like they have this load of makeup on. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much.